The presenter, Evan Wang, and my instructor is Dr. Teresa Xu. And here is my topic: factors affecting the implementation of communicative language teaching in Taiwanese college English class. Here is my citation. Here is the other citation. Next, and my content. First, introduction, literature review, methodology, and results, conclusion, and that is my reflection. Introduction. First, let me tell you about the definition of term about the CLT, means communicative language teaching. This is an approach that emphasizes the interaction with your student at both the means and the ultimate goal of the learning a language. Introduction. CLT has been introduced in EFL settings to improve students' abilities to use English in real context and advocates teaching practice that develop communicative competence in authentic context. Purpose of the study. The study explores factors that promote or hinder EFL teachers' implementation of communicative language teaching in Taiwanese college English class. About the principle, CLT emphasizes the process of communication and leads learners to roles different from the traditional approach. Let's talk about the research question. Question 1. What factors promote the implementation of CLT by Taiwanese college English teachers? Question 2. What factors hinder the implementation of CLT by Taiwanese college English teachers?
So what does that mean, hinder?
Hinder means kind of up.
What's that?
Up.
So you said something, some factor, you want to explore the factor that promote, make it better, right?
Yeah.
But hinder.
Hinder means kind of some factors that would
Yeah, I know, 阻碍.
I don't
Temper.
temper.
So define that in your own words, please. Take your time.
Okay, maybe some factors that would influence that you may not promote your
So the influence is good way or bad?
bad influence. Okay, that's literature review. The definition of communicative competence is what a speaker needs to know in order to communicate in the speech community. That's the Haynes says that in 1972. And next, Richard and Roger said, learners are actively engaged in negotiating meaning by training to make themselves understood and in understanding others within the classroom procedures and activities. And Littlewood said, learners who are able to effectively communicate in English, national language in education policies in EFL countries have moved toward CLT since the 1990s. Okay, and Brown says this learner-centered approach gives students a sense of ownership of their learning and enhances their motivation. And the methodology. There are 8 teachers from 2 universities in southern Taiwan. 8 teachers. And the researchers use qualitative and conducted face-to-face and And let the researcher let the interviewees use Mandarin Chinese to answer the question, and semi-structured and open-ended questions. Okay. Now next, semi-structured is a method that research used in a social science, while a structured interview has a formalized, limited set questions. And the interviews were tape recorded. Each interview lasted 45 to 60 minutes. And the researcher will rearrange and naming and categorizing to produce a new data. And let's talk about the results of the questions. Results of question 1. What factors promote the implementation of CLT by Taiwanese college English teachers? The researcher divided into four big factors. 1. Teachers factor, teachers professional training, and teachers persistence. And 2. Students factors, students' willingness to participate in class. Students need to use English for communication. For example, for this one. One of the interviewees, teacher 6, said, today's college students have different needs. Through the internet, discover how English can be used in real-life situations. These situations increase their motivation in developing communicative competence in English. And educational system factors. School support, appropriate curriculum. Teacher 1, for example, Teacher 1 says that I think it is important for the university to design curriculum that promotes CLT. The introduction of cultural events can increase the students' understanding about the social context in which English is used. And the last factor, CLT factors, sufficient teaching resource and modified exams. That's the result of question 1, promote. And result of question 2, what factors hinder the implementation of CLT by Taiwanese college English teachers? The SAT has 4 big factors. Teachers factors, students factors. Teachers factors, inadequate teacher training, lack of knowledge and skills. That's the teachers factor. Students factors, resistance to class participation, low English proficiency. For example, teacher 6 said they have difficulties to understand the teacher or the classmates' English during group work. They tend to depend on their high proficiency peers. It is challenging to encourage them to speak English. And the other 2 factors, educational system factors, test-oriented teaching, large classes, limited teaching hours, and CLT factors, lack of English environment, lack of efficient assessment instruction. That's the result of question 2. Conclusion. CLT is an emerging teaching method in college English classes in Taiwan. Teachers are cognizant of its benefits to students wishing to improve their English skills and to facilitate the implementation of CLT. My reflection. I knew more about what CLT is and understand CLT emphasizes the interactions with the students. The implementation of CLT involves not only the teacher's efforts but recognition of the teacher's voice and incorporating it into educational practice. Thank you for your listening.